So we would like to talk about a little story that started last year in Helsinki when we first heard a presentation from Klaus Olsen on exploratory testing and bug hunting. So after that, I checked with my colleague how it looks like and how we could make this practice work. So my name is Szilárd Széll from Nokia. This time I'm wearing the Nokia hat. And I'm a test process owner, basically since the beginning of this month.
Hello, I'm Marko Kuisma, and I'm team leader of the system verification, the team where we first time ever introduced and piloted the bug hunting in 2013 at Nokia Networks.
Yeah. Yes, we are from Nokia Networks. So Nokia Networks is situated here in Budapest. It's been started in 1908. So 16 years ago, we have more than 1,200 people still growing. This is very good. And our main expertise is around cloud computing and architecture, customer experience management, big data, and mobile switching centers as well. Nokia is quite a big house of testing. We have a lot of testers. We have a lot of educated ISTQB certified testers as well. And why is that? Because we have very complex products. So think of a mobile switching center. It's not something easy. It handles currently 1.7 billion people or their calls around the world currently, the software we develop. So the system is complex, highly available, meaning one system can go down only 5 minutes a year. This is a really robust product because of that, and we deliver it on normal telco hardware as well as IT cloud. We have very well-defined requirements. We are lucky, we have good requirements. But we need to follow all the ISO 9001 and TIA 9000 certifications. Well, we have to have very hard processes, and we have Lean Six Sigma quality management. On the test design techniques, and now we are going around the exploratory, towards the exploratory. Test design techniques, we use several ones. Of course, because we have very good requirements, we use a lot of requirement-based techniques. Everything that is described basically by the ISTQB as well. We use a lot of structure-based testing as well, through the code, from the code, by counting interfaces, everywhere where we have a structure. On top of this, of course, we need to use the experience-based testing techniques as well, like the error guessing, checklist-based, and exploratory testings. What is exploratory testing? We've been discussed about that many times today, so I won't repeat. I just heard that there was already a map, but I would give you a little story. Exploratory testing is kind of a goal-oriented wandering. So the story is, this spring, we went with my family to Barcelona. One day we decided that we go to one very specific place, and we basically, by the help of Google, we checked for the route. It gave us 2 different routes. That you can think as a script, as a test case script. That's a description, what is your test case. So we could go that way, but on the other hand, from the books, we realized there are several other interesting points of the city that we would like to see. It's like several risks into your product, several areas that you would like to cover, to see around. So what we have done, we started to go to walk in the city on one street. There was something strange on the left, so we turned left, not to the direction Google showed. Then we walked around a little bit, get to the first point of interest. We wandered around. We checked the place. We've seen how nice it is. Imagine some kind of code base or configuration you check around. Then we went to some other points, but we realized it's interesting. It was not on our plan. It's interesting. We spent some time there. So we repeated this process, basically, go until some of the points of interest. But then, because the time was up, we needed to skip some of those. We arrived to our destination where we really enjoyed ourselves. That's my daughter. You know, she must be on a conference, always on a picture.
Okay. And here is something before going to the actual bug hunting. So here is the exploratory testing from our perspective. So one approach that we used in our system verification and system testing. In the right hand, you can see the traditional path of testing, scripted testing. There is a setup, execution, and then there is some result. On the exploratory path, we might want to add something on top of that. So for example, in the test setup phase for the SUT, system under test, we are modifying something there. We could put abnormal setup to the SUT or misconfigure the SUT on purpose, some feature on it, or then using some abnormal parameter values or conditions in the system. Then during the actual test execution or test event, we would like to do something on top of that also. For example, we do simultaneous test activity on the system while doing the scripted testing. Or we distract the system on purpose. Or we even modify the configuration, add some components there, modify the configuration to existing configuration of the system. This could produce us more test executions or test steps. And this way it will provide us more different results and hopefully more found faults. Okay, then the bug hunting. Bug hunting, what it is? Simply, it's a time-boxed competition in the testing team where testing pairs are competing each other, trying to catch as many bugs as possible, using some unconventional ways of testing. So the methods and techniques that are typically not used. In our case, in our team, we divided the 8-person testing team to 4 test pairs. And for these 4 test pairs, we had 4 dissimilar test systems. Dissimilar because we want to have more complication, more complexity, and more coverage for this hunting. And we defined 45 minutes testing rounds, and 4 of those rounds. So each test pair had 1 round per 1 SUT. So each of the test pairs has equal chances to catch faults from the system. Ingredients of the bug hunting is also the scope of the hunting. That need to be defined and agreed beforehand. Chat tool is something important used for internal communication during the hunting. Then there need to be a referee. Referee is the one who orchestrates the whole session, keeps up the timing, judges the issues that are found. And of course, really important, after the session, after the bug hunting is over, we will have an award for the winning pair. The winning pair will have the certificate and some little prize. Nothing big, but something small. Okay, slides are not changing. Okay. Bug hunting steps. What are the bug hunting steps? So these 6 simple elements in our case were the ones that we need to make bug hunting in action. First, we need to define the conditions for the bug hunting. We need to put there the scope, maybe some limitations. Do we want to go for the whole system or maybe only some technical parts of it? We need to agree about the environments that we are going to use, the software level, the software project that we are going to serve with this hunting. Of course, then the date, timing, and the duration for the hunting, as well as the rules. But most important, we need to have the known issues listed down before the bug hunting can start. Because we are dealing with the test systems, there is typically several different fault investigations ongoing, so we need to list those down just to avoid the situations that we will face those during the bug hunting. Okay, and before we start, we get together with the team and a little bit advertise the bug hunting, tell about the rules, coach for the team that what are the techniques and methods that could be used for efficient bug detection. Then it's time to go for the hunting and start the rounds. Test pairs can use whatever methods they want. Use their own imagination that what are the most efficient techniques to be used. They could, for example, do pair working in a way that somebody of the pair is configuring something or modifying the configuration in the system, while one of the pair is doing some provocative actions, provocative test activity on the system. This is one simple example. And whenever they are finding an issue, we are not calling them bug yet because we don't necessarily know that they are bugs. There can be faults or there can be some human errors or mistakes. But anyway, when they are facing something suspicious, they will inform the referee about it. They will send the chat tool message, which contains the title, short description, what was done, what were the events that lead to the fault, then some technical data like snapshots or printouts from the system. That will be sent to the referee, and then the testing pair will continue to hunting. Referee will then check the issue and judge whether it will be counted in or not, and of course inform the test pair who found the issue. And this goes on for all of the rounds, and after the bug hunting is over, we get together with the team again to analyze the issues that we detected. And during this, we categorize the issues in 3 simple categories. With the team consensus, we get together and said that first we have the clear faults. These are the ones that we can safely report as a fault using the official fault reporting tools. Second category is the issues that we know that most probably are the faults but need some further work and more investigation. And last category, dropped items that are some human errors, misunderstandings, configuration error or something else. Definitely not the fault. And last step, we reported all the faults that we found with the official Nokia fault reporting tool. The results of the bug hunting are outstanding in our case. I want you to focus on the numbers 1 and 15 on the bottom. 1, we typically, with the experienced system verification team, we are able to report down 1 fault report in 1 day. With the 3 hours of active bug hunting, we were able to detect more than 50 different issues. And out of these 50 different issues, we write and created 15 new fault reports. So it's really a great result. So far we have arranged 4 different sessions all over the Nokia networks in different product lines. And from those 4 sessions, we are having 63 new fault reports. So you can imagine that this is big money saved by the company when the faults are found efficiently and early enough. And even the higher management of the company is really liking the idea of bug hunting, and this totally is going to spread more in the future. Lessons learned from the bug hunting event. This is really something that helps testers to think outside the box. It really makes testers to see that there are other ways to do the testing than the normal scripted way. It helps them to detect some useful methods and techniques that they can utilize in their daily work, and on top of that, scripted testing. And feedback from the team was that it really also improves the team spirit and improves the team expertise in longer term.
What we also learned is that the bug hunting event should be planned upfront. So you put it into your test plan as an exploratory session with a test charter as well, so you can make it planned. It is needed to be ISO 2009 compliant, so it's not an ad hoc event. And this is a complement for the requirement-based testing. So all this is coming on top of that. It's not instead of the requirement-based testing, but just an additional technique to find more bugs. And on top of all this, bug hunting is fun.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. I think a very interesting talk. Practical experiences, so hopefully from the audience some practical questions on their experiences. Questions, please.
Did you use any kind of tool like ring to motivate the others when someone find a bug?
Actually, we did not, but that's one way to do the bug hunting, yes. But we shared some information in between the rounds, that how many faults there has been or how many issues there has been found so far, just to stimulate the others.
And there was the chocolate as well.
Yeah.
Are very perfect chocolate.
But that was
Finland.
a surprise. Any other questions?
Attila?
Of course, at the back.
Save the day.
Does the severity the severity of the bug is it important, or it's just a number, that 50 plus number of different defects, or it's really important that all of them are low? I mean, serious issues, or it's how do you count it? Do you count them?
We didn't count it. We only counted the metrics as a amount of the faults. We didn't care about the severity, but that's one approach that can be used as well.
But we've seen high severity faults, A-class faults on this, so basically it was quite a balanced result. And of course this testing was done still well before the release, so when there is quite a high chance to correct all these.
And what about the follow-up, or it's a separate task to follow up on the fixing of the defects?
It's a reported bug. Come
so
on,
you don't do
TIA 9000. It's of course corrected.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you don't do a second round of 4 times 4 hours bug hunting. It's just one-time activity. Report the issues, and issues will be fixed and later on tested in another cycle, or
You do the requirement-based testing. It's an ongoing for several months. We are talking about system tests, really, with end-to-end systems built. And inside that, you have these bug hunting events, like monthly or quarterly, something like that. So as I said, it's just an additional thing on top of all what we have already, just to catch some more bugs, just to have fun, just to build the team spirit, to learn.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have time for 1 or 2 more questions, if there. Yeah, one up front.
Did I understand right that you were like actually seeding in defects so that it becomes a competition, or was it always a well-tested system that someone had to find a bug in? Like, were you introducing deliberately?
You mentioned that one guy is doing some misconfiguration.
Misconfiguration.
Yeah, I suppose you.
That's one way to do it. That was the one way that we advertised that could be the useful method or technique to detect the faults, but that was not the only one, of course.
So open it maybe up. One person is starting the load test with a couple of hundreds and thousands of calls ongoing. And meanwhile, the other one starts some hardware reset, or starts changing some configuration, some routes that are very important. So like making some kind of this event, like destructing the network or things like that.
Because this is anyway something that happens in the live networks all the time. So customers are modifying the configurations, adding something, removing something, or something like that. So just to simulate those events as well.
Okay. Another one?
Yeah, so based on the findings of the bugs you found during these sessions, have you improved your system test cases? So you thought over that, okay, now we found these many bugs, so let's put these tests into our regularly run test cases.
Yeah, that might be the next step that need to be taken after we have more coverage and more, let's say, sampling out of these bug hunting sessions. So yes.
Just to say one more word, Marko's team is kind of the bug serial killer. So they have altogether, like, I don't know, 100 years experience, the whole team. And they have a set of requirement-based test cases. They follow them sometimes, rarely. And they are the best one in Nokia finding faults.
Okay, final and last question.
Have you considered having people other than testers, so if it's an agile group, having a tester paired with a developer or a business analyst to do this?
Very good question, very good idea. Until now, as I mentioned, we are in a agile-ish, scrum-ish way. So this is system test, this is very end. There are sprints, but after a while we do a very big system integration test. It's happening there. And yeah, sometimes those guys are coming down to the lab and seeing how it looks like in reality. I suppose if we would show this to them, they would go home cry. So.
Okay, well, thank you very much once again. I think you can see already the practical experiences. A lot of good questions already come up. So thank you.
Thank you very much.